Number 3 on the fraud power rankings,
Ooh,
Mr. March,
yeah,
Tom Izzo.
agreed.
And I put Tom Izzo. I didn't put Tom Izzo. I phrased it as Mr. March, and here's
Yeah.
why, Tate, because what's going to happen is it happens every year that Michigan State will make the NCAA tournament. Probably, I don't know. The way they've been playing lately, it's they're going downhill fast. But Michigan State will make the tournament. There will be a ton of people that don't really follow college basketball that closely. Maybe people that are listening to this show that are just tuning in. When the calendar turns to March, they're like, let's see what Titus and Tate have to say.
Yep.
These people are going to see Michigan State as like a 7 or an 8 seed, say. Michigan State in the 8-9 game, and they're like, oh, I like Michigan State to win that one. And then, oh my God, Michigan State, Gonzaga. Gonzaga always chokes. Michigan State is Tom Izzo, Mr. March. I got Michigan State over Gonzaga in the 9-1 game.
Yeah.
And then once he's in the Sweet 16, oh my God.
He's a Final Four guy.
He might be a Final Four guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's it. I got Michigan State to my Final Four. Do not do that. I am here to tell you, America, this is not a Michigan State team that you are familiar with. They, I cannot stress it enough. Michigan State will not do anything in this NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Every Michigan State fan is nodding in agreement. They are completely lifeless. They are a finesse team. They have zero leadership whatsoever. And everything I'm saying, I understand could be bulletin board material for Michigan State. I believe so little in this Michigan State team right now.
Use it.
Use it. I dare you.
Put it on your bulletin board.
Put it on the bulletin board. You know I'm right. You know I'm exactly right. I guarantee whatever Tom Izzo is telling his players in practice right now
much worse
is
than
much worse than what I just said.
Yeah.
They have zero hallmarks of the Michigan State teams of the past that have been, say, like a 7 seed or a 6 seed, whatever, that go on runs in the NCAA tournament. It's not going to happen this year. And Mr. March is for this year, for this moment in time, Mr. March is dead.
Agreed.
So that's it. I mean, Joey Brunk ripped Michigan State to shreds.
I mean, we've done this before, Mr.
ripped him to
November.
shreds.
Can we give Mr. March to someone else? That's the question. Because I think what this means to me with the Izzo, I mean, even last year losing to UCLA, it felt like Mick took Mr. March from him. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say that Mick Cronin is Mr. March, but if they do it again, Titus, if they're a 4 seed, Mick Cronin does it again.
I think the difference
is
Mr.
March.
He had expectations this year.
Yeah.
Because part of the Mr. March allure is that we didn't expect anything. This came out of nowhere.
No one's expecting much out of UCLA now.
That's true.
They're waning. Purposely, I believe, because Mr. March.
That's true. Well, there you go. Congratulations to Michigan State on making the Final Four. Now that I just
yeah, I know. Clip that.
Gave you that to work with. At number 2 on the fraud power rankings this week, refs.
Yeah,
all refs.
Always.
Every ref. So originally I had I was going to go in on the Arkansas LSU refs. I don't know if you saw this on Wednesday night, but I was watching that game. I DVR'd it because we were at the Donda situation. But I went home the next morning. I watched the LSU Arkansas game, and it was an absolute atrocity of officiating for multiple reasons. 3 guys fouled out. 2 more had 4 fouls. LSU. I'm Team Muss. You know this, Tate.
Yeah.
And I like the guy. I'm Team Muss. So this is not I understand. We have far more people that are Arkansas fans that listen to the show than LSU fans. I do not love Will Wade. I do love Eric Musselman. I would cheer for Arkansas over LSU 10 times out of 10. But the refereeing was a little one-sided, I would say. And part of that was Jalen Williams took 3 charges that were among the most preposterous charges I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
This man has taken 48 charges on the season. It is spiraling out of control how much like people are talking about it in SEC. Like Arkansas fans are like proud of it, but they know deep down they should not be proud of it because they remember Grant Williams, who might be related to Jalen Williams when I watch him play, the way Grant Williams would flop around for Tennessee. But he took 3 of the most preposterous. You'll have to look at the clips. It is absolutely insane, these charges he took. Got every single call on him. So that was bad enough. And then J.D. Note at the end of the game travels. He gets trapped, jumps up in the air, falls down, then gets fouled. Arkansas was down 1, hits the 2 free throws. That's how Arkansas wins the game. So I was prepared to call that out. I just did right there. But then a friend of the program named Ron on Twitter enlightened me to this story that Larry Sirotto, I believe is how you say his name, and if not, who cares? Who cares? Whatever.
Sounds
is a Big Ten official ref. A Big Ten official ref. A Big Ten official Tate is what I meant to say. Sorry. He's a Big Ten ref. He is also was the Fort Lauderdale police chief, and he was just recently fired, Tate, as the Fort Lauderdale police chief because The auditor of Fort Lauderdale, the city of Fort Lauderdale, for 16 years, who was about to retire. That's how they all are. Every cop is about to retire.
Yep.
If movies are to be believed.
Yes.
He was an auditor for 16 years. He was investigating Soroto for having a second job while his timesheet, as the police chief said, that he was on the clock. So he was like filing these timesheets for taxpayers to pay his salary, and the auditor was like, "Wait a second, I don't think you were working then, because I was watching the Michigan State Purdue game and
and you were reffing that game.
You were reffing that game."
Yeah.
So the auditor was fired. Like, as he was investigating the Fort Lauderdale, the police chief, he was fired.
Nice.
So it might be literally fraud.
This is like Bloodline. Yeah. This is literal fraud.
This is literal fraud happening amongst these college basketball. The refs are literally committing fraud. So there's that. So then, like, I was ready to go in on Arkansas LSU refs, and then I saw that story, and I was like, all refs, just throw them together. All of them. All of them are fraudulent, I guess. All right, number one. It hurts.
Don't do it, Coach K.
Please, Coach K.
Please, Coach K.
It's not Coach K. This one really, really hurts me, Tate, because you know that there's one thing I care about more in this world than anything else. It's that it's that in 49 states, it's just basketball.
Oh, yeah.
But in the state of Indiana, it matters more. It just does. It's more important.
You saw it with Joey Brunk. Yeah.
But number one on the fraud power rankings is Indiana as a basketball state, as a whole, the entire state of Indiana. The idea that
I blame Brad Stevens.
It's just basketball.
I blame Brad Stevens.
I am inclined to agree, because since Brad Stevens said he's a masshole and he's turned his back on the state of Indiana, here's where we stand as a state of Indiana. Now the impetus behind this, putting Indiana number one, I will admit, is this past week, Indiana chokes at home against Rutgers, out of the tournament probably. It's going to take a miracle. We're going to have to win at Purdue and maybe win a game in the Big Ten tournament. Who the hell knows? But Indiana's out. Indiana's out of the tournament right now. They choked that away. Ron Harper has now hit game winners against Purdue and Indiana.
Yeah. He's the reaper.
So there's that. But then also Purdue, who is this was the best team in school history, quote unquote. The first time Purdue has ever been ranked number one. They are third in the Big Ten. So even Purdue, who's like good, is still like not
you know what I mean? Running the show. Yeah.
And loses to Wisconsin and lets the Big Ten title slip away. And it's a down year for the Big Ten. The Big Ten's not even as good as it usually is. Purdue has the best team ever. Third in the Big Ten. There's that.
And the team that beat him was supposed to be 8th, right? That was Wisconsin.
10th.
Yeah, 10th. Oh my God.
They were picked to finish 10th.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that Wisconsin team is 4-0 against Purdue and Indiana this year.
So they stole the mojo.
Also, Purdue and Indiana are the only two teams that Michigan State has beaten in the last month. Literally. In the last month, Michigan State has 2 wins, and it's Purdue and Indiana. So both of these teams are handing them wins. But it's not just Purdue and IU, Tate. Butler is second to last in the Big East standings for the second year in a row. They are an absolute dumpster fire. There are 3 Missouri Valley Indiana teams. The Missouri Valley has 10 teams in the conference. There are 3 from Indiana: Evansville, Valparaiso, and Indiana State. Of the 10 teams, these are the seeds in the Missouri Valley tournament. 7, 9, and 10 are the Indiana teams. They're at the bottom of the Missouri Valley. Evansville played Valpo in the first round yesterday. Valpo blew them out, so Evansville's season's done. Indiana State lost to Illinois State. Their season's done. They suck.
That's Licklider, right? Licklider.
Yeah. Valpo sucks. The Pacers are tanking, which is made worse by the fact that they can't even tank right. Like, they're beating the Celtics. They're beating the Magic. They can't even figure out how to tank correctly. Mm-hmm. And then we have the high school tournament, and like, I don't know. There's that.
I have hope in
like
Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne's our last.
There's still that good. There's still like hope that like a semi-state game in the high school tournament can be played in front of like 9,000 people, and that gets shared on Twitter, and people are like, "Damn, it is bigger in Indiana." But right now, the state of basketball in Indiana, in the state, has never been worse.
And you know what the worst thing about
it's never been worse.
Wednesday, Mad Dog from Mike and the Mad Dog Russo went on First Take and gave the take that Larry Bird is better than LeBron James, and gave a very inspired argument. But he was just getting obviously roasted by everyone.
Getting killed.
And everyone's like, Larry Bird's a carpenter, Larry Bird's a janitor, these are all the comments. And I was thinking to myself, the public opinion of Indiana basketball is so far off. I mean, and I'm dealing with it. You know what I mean? It's so far from reality, but it is, like you said, it's fraudulent.
It's bad.
It's fraudulent.
I can't defend it. I want to. I'm gonna go home and watch Hoosiers like 3
I think what we need is Larry Bird to play LeBron 1-on-1.
Flaming horse, at least. IU Purdue is on. That's a great lead into IU Purdue on Saturday, the rematch.
Yes.
Get excited, America.
Ooh.
No, I don't know. I saw the landscape of it all, and I was like, man, this is so sad. What's happened to? Because that's all I really care about. People will get
Yeah.
confused why I care so much about Indiana and why I care so much about Brad Stevens going back that year. And I was like, man, it's just about like, I need the state of Indiana to
To be a basketball
be a
state.
basketball state. This is
Yeah.
important to me, and right now, it's bad.
Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.